You should at least be selling puts in this market rally. Don't just stare at the market going up every day, because we cleared $7,000 off one stock with CSPs within 24 hours. I mean, it's crazy how fast CSPs are printing. So if you don't even know where to get started, let me show you 4 ways to sell puts that your guru on the internet never told you. I'm going to give you the stock I'm actually doing this on right now, as well the stock we gave our coaching program on Monday, as well as like a plan on how to attack it. So what's up with Matt? Why is he bullish? Why is he buying stuff even though he was nervous? Well, we had confirmation this week that the markets are back on, everybody. I mean, let me show you technically what was the nerve-wracking setup and why we just confirmed that it's not a worry anymore. So from the high to the low of the stock market, we draw what's called a 50 fib. It's a 50% retracement. And this is where the markets will retrace and continue a trend down. So if we were to sell off in the markets and retrace, this is exactly where the next sell-off would begin. So I have a right to be nervous here based off of 50 fib psychology and continuation, areas. But the good news, China, we just had tariff negotiations go well. Markets like that, gap up right through the 50 fib. This area right here is also your April candle, by the way. So this area, or before that, February, this area is also going to have a 50 fib. So we blasted through that 50 fib. With all that being said, the markets aren't retracing. If anything, everybody's late to this. Everybody's trying to catch up and everyone's chasing. And this at this point is going to lift the markets and make it extremely hard to get in. So selling puts is the number one way to take advantage because you can chase and get a discount if you're wrong. So this is the best way to take advantage of the situation, in my opinion. So First Solar was the idea I gave you on Sunday. If you just wanted to chase the markets, buy leap options, buy stock, you would have been up 35% in 2 days. Why? Why is this the best scenario, Matt? Because beta stocks get lifted to the nth degree right now. We're talking 50, 100% returns. That's where you throw on your capital, because why get 5% in an index fund when you know certain stocks are going to pay 20, 40, 50, 100%? So utilize high risk, high reward opportunities when they present themselves. That's what I'm going to show you today, is a stock that's doing the same thing. First Solar did that, and look at that move we called out on Sunday. So YouTube video on the top left if you missed it. Man, do not miss those Sunday or Saturday videos. So my new stock is Tempest AI. Well, Matt, you already told us about Tempest. Well, here's the 4 ways to sell puts with it, which I want to go over. But number one, broad overview. Nancy Pelosi's on leap options on this thing, for 2026. She does not sell her leap options. So she doesn't trade, she buys and holds. So there's a huge opportunity here for Tempest AI for a full year run or a half year run. More importantly, Kathy has been buying Tempest throughout this whole last month, and she has this as her 6th largest position. I didn't know this till recently, her 6th largest position. So, I mean, that's a lot of conviction for a low market cap early stock. And again, AI technology is going to boom. So I like to be in those sectors. And given the market just pulled back, and given we're literally not going to retrace at all, apparently, we might, but either way, this market's on fire. So you want to be in tech, you want to be in AI, genomics, you want to be in the sectors that are going to absolutely explode over the next couple years. And so Tempest AI has a 31% upside from here. So I assume we're going to go well past all-time highs. I think we could see this stock double. So no reason to buy this stock. Let's just make passive income while we wait. That's the key right now. So you can go about this market all blind, or you could be following me in the coaching program. Fill out an application with the link below. Tempest AI was a play we called out on Monday. 24 hours later, 50% return on a CSP. $4,000 for one student, which led to a 4% overall return in his account, in a single day. So if you have direction, if you have guidance, you don't have to guess and you don't have to be late. But more importantly, we can teach you the system while you're getting that guidance. So it's so important to have that over the next 6 months. It's going to be a wild one. So here's the simple rules for put selling, because I don't want you guys to sell a put and have the wrong mindset. Just like sports, just like everything, it's all up here. It's not the account. It's not hitting the buttons. It's literally how you perceive the opportunity, how you look at what you're doing and rationalize it. So let's have a good mindset first before we put on a put and leave you in the dark. Number one, this company I'm going to show you, I want to own it. So if you're going to follow this put strategy on this exact company, be prepared to own it, and be prepared to own it for a loss. Be prepared to see the stock down 20%, 30%. That's where you make the most money, is when you own the stock. You're trying to get the stock at a discount, but you're not trying to time the exact bottom. That's where it's tough for students, because you want to get it as low as possible, but you just never know where that bottom can be. So just try to own stocks as low as you can, but don't beat yourself up if you're 10% early or 30% early. So the other thing I want you to understand with put selling is never eggs in one basket. Try to find 3 to 5 stock tickers that you truly believe in, and just try to crank those CSPs. Try to get them at the lowest price. That's a sick portfolio. Every stock at the lowest price, that's your goal. And then lastly, if a play doesn't work out, don't be mad. Don't be sad. Don't be made or broken by one stock. One stock should not define your success as a student or as someone in the stock market learning. So if this stock were to crash 50%, it might recover in 6 months, 12 months, or even maybe 30 days. But don't beat yourself up, and don't think like you're made or broken by that one name. Just stay patient. You're trying to accumulate great opportunities for the next big tech revolution, which I think is huge. I think it's something just starting. So here's the first strategy I want to teach you, which is, we call it own quick. You're going to sell a put. You're going to get that stock. You're going to get that stock tomorrow. You're going to get that stock next week. You're going to sell short-term puts in the money, 1 strike in the money, 2 strikes in the money. And basically, you're still getting the stock for a discount. So if you sell this Tempest AI CSP for 10 days out at the 70 put, you're making 7% in a week if you're over $70. Or if you're under 70, you're getting the stock for $3 off. So if it's at 68 right now, you're getting it at 65. Not a bad place to be, getting things at discounts. That's the whole idea of put selling. So number 2, this is where I don't want to own it at a 3% dip, Matt. I want to own it a little bit cheaper. I don't feel very comfortable. That's fine. I get it. Don't dip your toes in too aggressively and hate yourself for it when you're owning the stock way higher than it might be. So if we're nervous, just slightly nervous, but slightly excited, I suggest a 30-day put. So we just add 2 weeks to expiration, and you keep the same strike of 1 strike at the money, 1 strike in the money, and you're getting it for now a $3 dip lower than that last price. So instead of owning it at 65, we go to 62. But this boosts our monthly possible CSP return to 10%. So if you're wrong and you blast off, you make 10%. Versus if you do the short-term CSP, you make 7. So it's a little bit more money. Obviously, short-term CSPs, you can rinse and repeat those and beat the 30-day CSP. So give or take there. But again, this has a coin flip of whether you're going to own it or not. And you're going to get it at a much cheaper price. That's another option. Put selling idea number 2 is don't want to own it, Matt. Just want to chase your play. Just want to sell a put. Okay, I get it. I respect that. This is where you'd probably sell super longer expirations and sell much lower strike prices. So out of the money, you're getting an 80% chance of profit, 85, 90, who knows? Depends on what your return wants to be. This is a 5 to 4% return over 45 days. That's like 1% a week. That's not terrible, 1% a week. And if it tanks, you're owning the stock 24% down. So this is the no tears, no crying type of option selling. It's fine. And I believe there's a time for it. Like the last February, January when the market was about to crash. Definitely nicer to sell puts and not own. Last one is the pseudo stock play. The pseudo stock play is where you sell a put and it's basically acting as a stock because you're so deep in the money and you have so much time and time value that the market, when it lifts, you're getting like the same exact return, and then at some point you're capped. But like this would be, you're going further out, like 60, 90, 120 days, and then you're going in the money by like more strikes, so 3 strikes maybe. In this case, you're getting a 20% premium, which means you get the stock relatively lower, not that much lower than the current price. But if the stock were to move up, let's say we move up to $90 or $100, you'd make a 10% to 15% return. So again, the market moves up to 90, that's like a 25% return for the stock, and then you make like 10 to 15 for the option. So it's like pseudo stock because you're almost matching those returns there. If we move up to like, let's say 70, you would be making 4%, 5% return, which is half of what the stock return is. So it's as close to stock. And in some cases, if you do it properly, it's very in line with the stock return. So selling puts, man, I'm going to be putting out lots of educational content like this moving forward. I have a 4-day challenge for basically nailing this next bull cycle with AI stocks and put selling. If you want to attend the 4-day challenge, it's June 2nd. Click the video on the top right and then hit the notification so you don't miss it. It's a 4-day event. After the event's over, all the videos are deleted. It's going to be a huge unlock, a lot of the secret stuff within coaching. I'll see you guys later. Have a good day. Peace.